Coming up on today's show, Valve reveals big changes to the Dota 2 Pro circuit,
Asus released a brand new gaming mobile phone,
and PS4 teasers E3 reveals? Welcome to round 6 of the Flaktest weekly patch. We are into the back end of the season. We're coming very close to a close, but we've got plenty more to take you through before we get to there, including a Flaktest feature match of the week a little bit later on in this episode. It's Dota 2 week. Very excited. St. Eugene's Esports from Queensland taking on Hale School from here in WA. But we've got news to get into.
We do, Pete. And speaking of Dota, Valve have made some changes to the 2018-2019 Dota Pro circuit lineup.
Right.
It used to be quite hard for teams to make changes to their roster, right? Valve have relaxed the reins just a little bit and made it just a bit easier for them to make changes. So what they can do is the rosters are more flexible leading up to the international, but once the international comes into place, they do lock it back down again. Qualifying points are now assigned to teams instead of players.
Right, okay. Yeah, big changes.
Big changes there, yeah. But typical Valve fashion, they give you this much and then reel it back in again. Mm-hmm. If you do change your lineup, you're going to be taking percentage point hits to your qualifying points. So don't change your team lineup. All
right, so that's basically it in a nutshell with regards to the changes. Then we're going to cover that off in a little bit more depth when we get TCG and Bruce Leet, who's going to be joining us for the pre-match and the actual casting of today's Dota 2 match as well. The Asus ROG phone,
dude,
wow.
Hey, this thing, I've actually had to write it down. This thing has specs that are mental. So Asus are getting into the phone market, not just doing another iPhone, Android phone, they're doing a gaming phone. And this thing is absolutely amazing. It's going to have a minimum of a 2.96 gig processor. Mm-hmm. So they're all binned processors, which means that they're testing each one individually to make sure they match that spec.
Can I just ask, with a 2.96,
2.96,
thank you, because I mean you're the tech whiz here at the Flaktest Weekly Patch and part of the Flaktest team. So can you, as you go through these specs, can you compare them to say like a PC?
Yep.
So we can get a bit of an idea exactly how powerful this phone is?
Sure. So the Asus ROG phone is using a Snapdragon processor, so it's not an Intel or an AMD processor. It's a mobile one, but it is on par with like an i7 processor in terms of speed, right?
Like in a phone?
In a phone.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's got 8 gig of RAM, which is pretty standard for a gaming PC. It's pretty standard. For a phone, it's like through the roof. Mm-hmm. It's got 512 gig of storage, which again on a phone is really high.
Yeah, because I mean, you average, I think now, like with iPhones and like your Samsung, your Android phones and stuff, I think you can get upwards of about, what is it, 126 or so?
128 for an iPhone.
Yeah.
Android phones differ because you can put SD cards in them.
Yep.
So it'd be different, but 512 out of the box is huge.
Obviously, they're going down the line of like, we are building this as a gaming phone, and we know as well as most people watching that you need a lot of storage for games.
Oh yeah. You know, Destiny 2, that's what, 48 gig download.
Could you imagine being able to play Destiny 2 on a phone?
Well, I'm getting to the ability to be able to play some games on there in a minute. It's at the bottom of my list, but I've got to work through the specs first. Okay,
keep going.
It's a 90 hertz AM OLED screen. 90 hertz means you'll be able to see up to 90 frames per second. That's what that means. Really fast. It's also a HDR screen, so you're going to get high definition colors.
Yep.
It's got 2 charging ports, so that way if you want to hold the phone this way or this way, you can plug the cable in either side.
Amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Asus have teased us with this thing they call the Twin View dock. So it's this chunky thing that you dock the phone into that has another screen. So it turns into like a Nintendo DS style thing.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah, that'd be great. Because, I mean, you can see further tech being released for this, like maybe being able to plug in a keyboard to it, a mouse, all that sort of stuff.
They're releasing a mobile dock that will power a 4K monitor, and you plug your keyboard and mouse into that.
Oh, man. Wow.
Right?
This is mind-blowing.
It's absolutely crazy. So you partner that with Steam's new app they're bringing out, Steam Link, which lets you stream over Wi-Fi, maybe LTE and 4G later on, games from your Steam library to your phone. So everything you have in your Steam library, you could play on this phone.
See, this is incredible because already with the phones, just the regular sort of, you know, Samsung phones and iPhones and stuff that we have, we can play things like Fortnite and PUBG but then being able to take it to that next level, whereas you say in a sort of Nintendo Switch kind of way, being able to hang out with your mates at work and go, guys, everybody dock your phones, we're just going to take a lunch break, play some PUBG for a little
Yeah.
while. This is incredible. This changes the game for gamers.
It does. And you imagine commuting to work on the train with your phone.
Yep.
What happens when you get angry though? You lose a match, you're just gonna like
Yes,
ditch your
that's your
phone
phone.
across the. Because I twist my controller when I get upset. Like,
Any sort of word with regard to battery life at this stage? Because for
Yep.
me, like that's going to be the big thing. Because already I can feel with playing games like Fortnite and PUBG on just my regular Samsung phone that the battery gets sapped pretty quickly.
Yeah, so it's got a 4,000 milliamp battery, which is higher than the iPhone 8, the iPhone X, any of the Android phones pretty much. But it is powering a massive honking processor and a big screen. So no word yet as to how long it will last, but it should be going for a while.
Yeah, you'd want to hope so. Yeah.
No release date, no pricing. Not even any word whether we're actually getting it officially in Australia yet either. But
come
you know,
on.
someone will do an import, so that's coming.
Bring it on. Okay, final thing that gamers need to see this week. We've got E3 just around the corner. It is this
It's like a few days away, man.
week. E3, the Electronics Entertainment Expo. It is the biggest expo of its kind in the world. It's the one where all of the big publishers, developers show off their big AAA titles coming up. And Sony, in the last couple of days, has done a tiny little reveal trailer of its big four for E3.
Tiny.
So
It's a massive trailer.
It's a massive trailer,
It's like
right?
40 seconds, but
Yeah.
it's so exciting. Run us through what games are in there.
It
Pete.
shows off the big four that they're coming out with. So The Last of Us Part 2,
Yes.
which is very, very exciting. And I'll go through details a little bit more as we get to them. But Death Stranding, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yep, Spider-Man.
We finally got a good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm on record saying that. Now we're getting a good Spider-Man game.
Absolutely, right? And very interesting details about this Spider-Man game with regard to the movies, the comics, all that sort of stuff, which I'll get to in
Right.
just a moment. And Ghost of Tsushima, which is shrouded in as much mystery as Death Stranding at this point in time. But let me take you through them really quick.
Go for it.
Naughty Dog's back at it with The Last of Us Part 2. You know, you never played the first one, did you?
I've played like a few hours into it, and then Destiny 2,
Yeah, fair
and I
enough.
was like, what do I do?
Destiny 2, another one that had a big release
Destiny
reveal.
2 Forsaken. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. But yeah, so The Last of Us Part 2, it's going to bring back a few of our favourite characters. Joel and Ellie are back, although this time around you're going to play a little bit more Ellie than you are Joel.
And man, she looks like a badass.
Yeah,
now.
she does. So we saw some reveal trailers recently, and it is pretty hectic. They're going pretty hard. Action, adventure, survival, horror,
Yep.
like the original one. So, you know, all that sort of conservation of bullets and trying to find bits and pieces to help you through the game and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And it takes place 5 years after the events of the first
Right.
Last
So,
of Us.
they've grown up a bit. They're a bit haggard now.
Yeah, they're a bit haggard. I think the real thing that I'm looking forward to with this game is finding out what the environment looks like 5 years down the track,
Yeah.
what the societies look like 5 years down the track, and in particular, what the enemies look like 5 years down the track.
You've assumed they've had time to mutate, and you know, and society has by this point really gone.
Exactly right. So, I mean, think of The Walking Dead, but, you know, a little bit further down the track. We move on to Death Stranding. This is just the most mysterious game
We don't know anything
ever.
about
We
it.
know
really.
nothing about it, right? So it is a Hideo Kojima game. So most people who know of the words Hideo Kojima know that this is going to be an out there game to begin with,
Right.
right? Kojima Studios used to be underneath, it used to be a subsidiary of Konami. This is actually the first game where they've been able to do this as an independent, because a little while ago they disbanded, they got out of Konami's shadow, they became an independent studio of their own volition and went, okay, now we're going to do this. So
They went our turn.
it's our turn,
Yeah.
right? And you expect that with that, there's going to be a real crazy standard of game coming out for Death Stranding, because Hideo Kojima, as it is a visionary, right? He's just very different. Norman Reedus is going to be a part of this, who plays Daryl in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, look, the trailer looks awesome.
The trailer looks insane. And also, director Guillermo del Toro
No way.
is in this game as well.
He's getting involved?
Yeah, he's involved as well. So some big heavy hitters.
So cinematics are going to be crazy.
Quality,
Yeah.
crazy quality, right? We move on to Spider-Man, Insomniac games. Okay, so for those of you who don't know of Insomniac, Spyro, the original couple of Spyro games, Ratchet and Clank, most recently Sunset Overdrive as well, but this time they're back. It's going to tell a brand new story about Spider-Man that actually has nothing to do with the movies,
Right.
the comics, or any other video games that have ever been released as well.
Any word if it's in the canon or is it outside? Do we know?
Not sure. Right. So, like a completely new story, you're actually going to play different parts of Spider-Man's life as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Right.
Okay. So a bit of depth there, a bit of emotion there as well, which is really cool. Uncle Ben. And finally, the other thing that you need to know about it in particular is the gameplay style. From the trailer footage we've seen already, it's going to play out very much like the Batman Arkham Asylum Arkham games, which are the best of their kind.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just spectacular in terms of the gameplay, the fights amongst all the enemies, all that sort of stuff. So really looking forward to that. Spider-Man's going to be a little bit older than we know him as of late as well. So, yeah, plenty to go.
In the trailer, you can't actually see whose face is on the body.
No, you can't. Right?
So who's it going to be?
Yeah.
They've got a few to pick from.
We'll see. Finally, Ghost of Tsushima. Again, this is another game we don't know too much about, but this is Sucker Punch's brand new IP, Sucker Punch from the Infamous series. Remember when the PS4 came out, this was one of the original sort of launch titles. Neon colours, all that sort of stuff, cities, gone, right? This time you're actually in the 1200s in warring feudal Japan.
Awesome.
Okay, so you play a samurai.
Yep.
And that's really about all we know, but expect to see some really amazing sword fights, ninja stars, a lot of stealth gameplay as well, which is really cool. But yeah, that's about all we know about this game in particular, that you're going to be protecting your homeland from an invasion that's coming from some outsiders. So yeah, looking forward to it. We'll see more at E3 this week, the 12th to the 14th of this month, which is really exciting. Hey, stick around. We've got plenty more coming your way, including our feature match of the week, thanks to our mates at AOC Monitors, Dota 2. It is going to be incredible between two fantastic teams, St. Eugene's Esports from Queensland and also Hale School from WA. It's going to be happening on twitch.tv/Flaktest and right here in just a moment.
Something that I want to. Talking about me, rocking on beat. Talking about walking on my own 2 feet. You got something that I want to. Talking about me, rocking on beat. Talking about walking on my own 2 feet.
Welcome. We're back. We're here. Another week. Round 6. Can you believe it? It's Pete joining commentary today for your feature match of the week, Dota 2, with this guy, TCG from Fox Gaming. Hi, TCG.
Hello, how you doing?
And a really fresh face on the couch today. We've got Adzi in. So good to have you along.
Thank you very much. Thanks,
TCG will be providing the play-by-play for our Dota 2 match. Adzi, you've got the analysis down pat.
Yep.
Before we actually get into this, Hale School WA taking on St. Eugene's of Queensland. Thank you for joining us here at twitch.tv/Flaktest. We've got plenty on the way. Some news about Valve's later Dota 2 changes to the 2018-19 Pro Circuit. We'll get your thoughts on exactly what those are all about, what they actually mean for the Pro Circuit, the teams, a lot of flex going on. But just fill them in, TCG, really quickly. A bit of history about yourself with Dota.
I've been playing Dota for about 4 years now, playing for a semi-competitive team in the Australian Esports Federation Div 2, and done a bit of casting here and there, and that's about it. I guess, my Dota repertoire, was a Divine 5, ranked player on the, Oz.
Which is really good.
Okay,
which is good.
Thank you, because I have no idea about any of this. That's why you guys are here.
Which is pretty tip-top, but last night, yesterday, the season rolled over, so I'm re-ranked.
Starting again?
Well, they put me back down to Divine 3. I've already climbed up to Divine 4, but You know, very, you know.
So hang on a sec. Wait, the season started over again yesterday.
Yeah.
You've already climbed to Divine 4.
Well, they like recalibrated me back at Divine 3,
Gotcha, okay.
so I climbed up one more rank. So.
Adzi, fill us in.
Yeah, been playing for about 5 years, all just casually, but I'm slightly obsessed because I've put a bunch of hours into it, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm not a Divine 5 player, I'm only a 4K player, so I'm a bit of a scrub myself, but I just love the game and the complexity and everything else. Like, it's really, really cool.
So Divine 5 player, 4K player,
Yeah.
doesn't even have the game installed. So I don't know what that makes me if you're a scrub. But anyway, guys, just a little bit of news that we want to expand upon, because we touched on this in the top 3 news, which you'll see. Right now you're watching this live on Twitch, but you will see this across all of Flaktest's socials, across Twitch, YouTube, everything, when we release round 6 of our weekly TV show, the Flaktest Weekly Patch. We talk a bit of news in there and then we expand upon it here. Valve's Dota 2 changes to the 2018-19 Pro Circuit. I'll just go through these really quickly. Flexible rosters is what they're going for. Teams able to make changes to their rosters now. Qualifying points assigned to teams instead of players, and teams take a point hit for lineup changes, but once we enter finals and of course the international, teams are locked in. No more flexing in regards to who's representing each team. Just want to get your thoughts on this. We'll start with you, TCG.
So it's as soon as the qualifiers start, there's no more.
That's it.
You can't flex you can't change players anymore.
This is through your qualifying season, and then finals are here, can't change
So it's
players.
basically, as soon as qualifiers start, it's back to how it was.
That's right.
No more switching. And we were looking before.
Yeah.
It seems to be you change one player,
You get a 20% point hit on that team.
which is massive.
Yeah, that's huge.
So it's
That can make a
it's
big
you know
difference.
it's flexible, but there's questionably
I-
how flexible it is.
I
Like,
guess you'd be balancing, you'd be looking at the players that may be on the table and going, okay, is it worth it to
That's
take
one of the
this
things.
particular
Yeah.
player versus how far we are into the season of the Pro Circuit, so on and so
Yeah.
forth, for taking the 20% hit?
Yeah, like is it a good trade here right now? A good option to take away those points, and sometimes it might be. So say if you get a really good character or player like Miracle, if you can get that guy across, you just take the hit. You know, you just do it.
but like you couldn't take the hit if it's going to knock you out of the top
Yeah.
12 teams or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a really top team and you're willing to take this hit to take a really better player on there, but the thing is that most of those top teams, they've already got 5 really, really good players, right?
Yeah, right.
So the chance of you wanting to switch out a top tier mid player for another Miracle, say,
Yep.
it seems less likely,
Yeah.
And
So
considering it is a game that is built around playing together, communicating together, that real strategic type of play, I mean, you only really ever want to make these changes if you're going to early in the season,
Yeah.
right? Because you want to
Yeah.
be playing together for quite some time before
absolutely.
finals comes around.
Yeah,
So it seems to me like the option now is there to do that, flexibility, but it's quite punishing. And what the other change was, if you don't play with your rostered 5 for the international, 40% hit.
Gee.
yeah.
So like if you
That's big.
you can take that change and still get in there, you're already in the top 4 teams in the world.
Yep.
And the top 4 teams in the world probably not going to change their rosters. So
Yeah.
it's more like the possibilities there now for those tier 2 and 3 teams, but for the tier 1 teams, it seems unlikely that they're
Might
going to
change it.
Yeah.
Adds
Yeah,
in.
much the
Anything
same
to add?
thoughts. And just to add to it is that when you have these top tier players, they've been in boot camp for 4 or 5 months, just playing with them, playing
Even longer maybe since the last international.
Yeah,
Almost,
since the last international. Yeah, so playing them and playing other pro players, so they know exactly how they work together. And if you're going to try and swap that out, you're going to lose all of that cohesiveness. So that's something that you're going to lose. And they say, oh, you can do it, but I don't think too many people will. Maybe the lower tier teams might take that up if they can get somebody on, if they're going to pay them a bunch of money or something like that.
Guys, we're going to move on from that. Thank you very much for your thoughts, because we've got a match to bring you right now. It is Dota 2 week right here on twitch.tv/Flaktest. Thank you for joining us and watching us live. Make sure you keep across all of our socials for all the info, but it's Hale School from WA taking on St. Eugene's in Queensland as we move across to the match and it starts to get ready. I just want to talk about something really quickly while we bring the match up and move across to that screen. And Adzi, your brother is actually the teacher rep for Hale School.
Yeah.
Is he coaching?
He's
Is he
coaching the Hale team.
corner?
Yeah, he's there right now.
Right.
Just keeping
So,
one online.
bit of bias potentially here, buddy.
I was going to say I'm going for Hale. That's really cool. If I don't, I might be in trouble. So, yeah.
Yeah, right. Is he much of a Dota player?
He's a big Dota player like
Yeah?
me. Yeah, but he works a lot, so he tries to like everybody here, I suppose, tries to fit it in and see what they can do. But yeah,
Yep.
he's really loving it.
So he's a bit of a casual. He's not a lazy. He's failing.
He's a casual like me. Yeah, yeah.
Who can
Well,
just
like-
play 10 hours a day.
Yeah, so like he was happy that the esports team came up for Hale because of League of Legends. Like it kind of started that off, but now he's really happy because Dota's his game. So he's like, that's great. I get
This
to.
is pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
League of Legends was close, but it wasn't his true passion.
it's not. No.
Well, and Dota 2, I mean, it's such a fascinating game because
Yeah.
it is so incredibly complex,
Yep.
you know. We're going to move across now to the Dota 2 match and actually get stuck into this. This is so exciting. And this is the part where I shut my mouth pretty much, guys, because I have no idea what I'm looking at. I'm just here to do the stuff either side of you guys who actually know what you're doing. We're going through picks and bans now. If you want to take us through it, TCG, kick us off.
No worries. Okay, so also, Pete, if you've got any questions, feel free, but not too many. It's not
How
a
do you
training
spell
session.
Dota?
It's not a
you know?
training
No, we're
session.
good.
eh?
Okay.
It stands for Defense of the Ancients.
Thank you.
That's it. It's two big ancients on either side. That's
Yep.
the main building. If that dies, you lose.
Yeah.
Got it.
Let's go.
Easy.
Yeah.
Not a
Easy.
problem. I'm doing this now.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
So to start off with, we're playing Captain's Mode. So if you don't know, there's multiple different modes in Dota. There's like, all pick, which is what you play most of the time. You just pick whatever hero you want. You can ban 1 or 2 heroes at the start. That's what you're playing if you're playing casually. Captain's Mode is when you're getting serious. So you have one captain. You can see the little crown next to their names.
All right.
We've got Vox Populi and Spooder Boy.
Yep, so as you can see, up the top, the Radiant, that is St. Eugene's Esports, and then obviously down the bottom in red, Hale School is Hale School.
Yeah. So that captain, they'll be, chatting with their team, seeing which heroes they want to take out of the potential heroes to pick and to field, and which heroes they want to, so they want to ban them out, and which heroes they want to pick. So, there's one guy who's in charge, which is much different to, the casual games you play when everyone's clowning around.
Adzi, just quickly, the bans that we're seeing right now, before we start talking about those, are there any bans in particular that you think, maybe thinking about the current meta or something like that you're hoping
Yeah,
to
like
see?
if they want to ban out like the current meta, like the current strong heroes, is something like Axe, Doom, and Visage. Visage is a mid-core hero, is actually really, really strong right now. So they'll want to ban those out, but they're not banning them out. They're banning out a potential position force, so someone who can help out the carry in the Sand King, and a mid-hero, Storm Spirit. And I'm not sure why they're banning out the Spider or Broodmother, because that one's not very a high-powered hero
I
at the
guess
moment, but it might be some strategy thing.
Visage and Brood, like Visage is a bit of a, one of those mid heroes.
Yeah.
Is a bit, if someone can play it well, it's a bit cheesy. A bit more of a, like a cheeky strategy you might not expect to pull out. That kind of runs you over, which is the same kind of thing Broodmother does,
Yeah.
If someone does practice it and you're not ready for it, you pretty much just lose. So they're kind of preparing to not, they want a fair game, You ban out these unfair heroes.
Yeah.
And we've got a first pick Morphling,
Yep.
which I'm a big fan of. I've been spamming that hero to try and learn it lately.
Yep.
And if he gets a good start, he is really, really strong.
Yeah. Got a DK mid, or a Dragon Knight mid, I reckon, with a Morphling safe. What do you reckon? It's a Morphling.
You can switch it up,
Yeah,
but it'd be, 90% this Dragon Knight will be running mid and the Morphling will be running safe lane.
Yeah.
So we're seeing some really different strategies come out. We've got Radiant, what's Radiant Queensland team? We've got St. Eugene's coming
right.
out.
Yep.
Took me a while there.
Yeah.
St. Eugene's coming out, they're picking 2 core heroes. So straight off the bat. And Hale responding, they're picking their 2 support heroes. So you immediately, you look at St. Eugene's, you know exactly what they're doing. Almost 90% of the time. And Hale School, they've revealed nothing.
Yeah.
You don't know, Shadow Shaman, SD, they're support heroes. You know what, mostly what they do, but you can run a SD with a dual lane off lane. You can even run him off lane. So it's a bit more, Hale School's hiding their strategy.
Yep.
And St. Eugene's coming out and these are the strong heroes we want.
Yeah.
You know what we're doing, but we're going to beat you with it anyway, which is real confident,
Very, very confident. Because they can actually, say if they bring out their, show their cards now, like what the Hale School can do is counter those heroes, so they can pick heroes that will offer disables or offer stuns or stuff like that.
So considering that St. Eugene's has virtually shown 2/5 of their hand,
Yeah.
right? And Hale School have not done that. What are you expecting to see Hale School pull out for their last 3 picks against what they now see as the Morphling and the DK?
Yeah. So they've already got a pretty good counter to Morphling with Shadow Demon and Shadow Shaman.
Yep.
Shadow Demon has a thing called Disrupt, which puts them into a ball, and when they pop out, it creates 2 illusions. And if Morphling if they're going to play him how I think they're going to play, he hits really hard. So basically, he's just going to hit himself really, really hard with those illusions. And then Shadow Shaman can hold him in place for a while. So that's a strong disable and a strong setup. And using Morph against himself pretty much to do that.
So that's already really good.
Yeah.
And one hero I'll be looking at here, Hale, I'm sure they've got a Outworld Devourer player. So his intelligence hero hits for pure damage,
Yeah.
which Morphling, he gets a lot of armor because he has so many stats, which is also why he's bad against Shadow Demon. But Dragon Knight, he's just a naturally really bulky, strong hero. He has a spell that gives him more and more armor. So OD, he doesn't care about armor at all. He kind of cuts through it. And then he has a big ultimate, which smashes you, deals damage based on how much more intelligence he has than you. Neither of those two heroes are very smart heroes. They don't build much intelligence. So I'll be a bit worried about an OD coming out. I probably would have liked to see an OD ban over the Visage and Viper bans.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, as you mentioned, Visage are getting banned out.
Yeah.
So St. Eugene's, they just want to play a nice, casual Morphling DK game. They don't want any cheese coming their way.
No.
And a Ricky coming out. So they're the ones doing the cheesing.
Yeah, that's great.
Ricky and Clockwork. It's really. I'm looking here with Hale School. They've picked up their 2 supports and they picked Clockwork, which most recently is being played as a POS 4 support. But it's pretty much definitely going to be a POS 3 offlane now.
Yeah.
And if I'm a Morphling and I'm wanting to farm out lots of creeps and get fat and get strong, which is how you play Morphling.
Yeah.
And I see a Clockwork in my lane against me, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm feeling real good about it.
Yeah.
Morphling,
There's not much you can do.
Yeah, Clockwork, he locks you in the cogs with the battery assault.
Yeah.
You have waveform as Morphling, you turn into a wave, get out of there. You don't care about the cogs at all. You can just sit in there with him and kill him inside the cogs.
Unreal.
So Clockwork, I'd say maybe a bit of a questionable choice here from Hale.
Yeah.
But maybe they got something I'm not sure about.
Some sort of big, like maybe OD might come out, so they might have some sort of AoE speed, so you want
Here
them
comes the
blocking.
next one. Legion Commander.
Oh, okay. Well, Hale's getting crazy here because
Yeah.
Legion also usually played as an offlane. So they got 2 offlane heroes, 2 support heroes.
And that could be a jungle Legion commander. What do you reckon?
If I see Jungle Legion, I'm just gonna
You're
I'm gonna freak out.
gonna rage quit?
It's not exactly. I'm gonna start typing and start like we were in a pub.
Yeah.
Start flaming it. No Legion jungle.
I mean, they might be to run a tri-lane bottom with Clock, Shadow Demon, and Shadow Shaman.
For our more casual hosts, Pete, if you don't know, Legion jungle is a bit of a meme.
Yeah.
Right.
In casual games.
I got to admit, while you were saying that, as Legion Commander came out, you were saying that out of the corner of my eye, our CEO, Brett, he's running the camera today. He's a Dota 2 player. And out of the corner of my eye, as you guys began to talk about that, I could see the smirk on his face. So clearly, it's quite the meme.
Yeah.
I think, from what I've read about Hale School, they're actually doing what they gave us a little info about themselves. They say they run basically 3 support heroes and 2 carry heroes. Mm-hmm. So they run like their offlane is more of a supporty type hero. So they just have their mid making lots of space. This is what the guy said. It seems like they have a pretty good game plan, by the way. So they seem pretty confident.
Yep.
But they're basically 4 of their heroes will go make space, go be annoying, go fights like that, and they'll have 1 carry just sitting there getting fat, like a Morphling type hero, but for the other team.
Gotcha.
So like they've got their cast already, right? These 4 heroes down the bottom here, Shadow Shaman, Shadow Demon, Clockwork Legion, they're going to go make space, go get into fights, while probably a hard carry comes out. And we've got a sniper pick.
Yeah, so it's going to be a support morph, I reckon.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's either that or 5 cores, which is going to be interesting to...
So we've got one team with pretty much all not farmy support heroes, and then one team of all farmy heroes.
Alright, cool.
And it's going to be a carry Legion commander.
Yeah. With the 2 supports.
Okay,
safe lane with a
I'm loving this. This is going to be crazy.
Why are you loving this? Why is it? Because it's these picks that you're seeing, these combinations. Is it because they're just so unusual? Is that you don't see this often?
Yeah, no one's doing this. This is what you're seeing in more of a casual kind of pub game.
We will own that at Flaktest. Nobody is doing this. We're bringing you a world first. Okay?
World first here, guys.
We'll take it.
To be fair, Morphling support it's sometimes done.
Yep.
That leaves your support heroes as a Morphling and a Ricky. Ricky Maru, the little stealth guy there with the 2 knives. That's not, you wouldn't look at that as the strongest support duo. Mm-hmm. But you look over at Hale School, you've got a Shadow Shaman and a Shadow Demon. Those heroes don't need any items, they don't need anything. They're just great support heroes. They got really strong abilities, So I'm feeling a little worried for St. Eugene's here. It feels like Hale School, they've done what they set out to do. They had their plan, they stuck to it. And you can even see the captain here, Vox Populi. He's put himself on an Invoker, a real big, showy, playmaking hero. He's feeling pretty confident about himself, Adzi, what do you reckon?
Oh, so with the Faceless Void pick, I reckon that's going to be a off-lane Faceless Void, and running like carries or calls like that off lane is not too good anymore because of where the creeps meet, which is really close to the safe lane tower.
Yeah, off lane's real hard.
It's real hard now, and it's going to be very difficult for Faceless Void to actually get any farm. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of these key words that you're talking about. Off lane, talk to me. What's an off lane?
Well, the camera is on the off lane right now for the dire side or the top side. And you can see down the bottom left, you got like the little red dots. Those are towers. And so that leads down for the dire to the off lane, or sometimes called the suicide lane, because it's really hard to play. Because it's usually you by yourself or with somebody else. And you've got a long way to run back to your tower. You've got the mid lane, which is the one that DK and Ricky Mara are running up right now. And that's usually just two solo people taking... teeing it off against each other, trying to win.
We got the classic, it's not Australian Dota without a pause at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So they've ticked that off. We know it's Oz Dota players. Even in the league I play in, if there's not a pause at the start of the game, something's gone wrong.
So we are taking a pause here, and this gives us a great opportunity. As we saw, Vox Populi has just taken off for a minute, but we'll be back. This gives us a great opportunity to continue to talk about the things that we're seeing on the screen. For those of you watching right now who don't know much about Dota 2, because it is a fresh game. It's our MOBA pick for the season 2018 league, but it is a fresh game. We'll just go back to that screen if we can, just to have a look at this. And take you through, I know, look, game is paused. It's not the most exciting thing to see. But I want to talk to the people who are watching who don't know much about Dota 2.
Oh, and stuff's already happening. It's already kicking off with the pause.
Yeah,
well, let's hear this. I mean, what's kicking off? What stuff is already happening?
So to cover the lanes real quick, so you got top lane at the top there, mid lane in the mid, and bot lane at the bot. Mm-hmm. So then top lane is safe lane for Dire, the red team, and it's off lane for Radiant, and then vice versa at the bot.
Gotcha.
So usually a safe lane is a lane you have, your carries there, you have the two supports looking after you, and it's all safe. That's been switched up a bit with the current meta, usually running two dual lanes. So 2 heroes versus 2 heroes.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter so much which lane it is. You can have your off lane being quote-unquote safer or whatever. And especially in this game where the picks are so crazy, lanes aren't going to really matter too much. It's going to be the heroes matching up. But what I've noticed, and I'm sure Ads has noticed, we've got some crazy item choices coming out at the start of the game. So, Adzi, at the start of the game, what do you usually start the game with in your inventory?
Well, you want to go to lane with some regen, which is usually tangos, so you use tangos to eat trees, and that'll bump your health up very, very slowly. Maybe some damage items, or, for example, if you're going to go mid and you're a intelligence hero, you want some sort of intelligence buff, so it increases your damage. Seeing 5 salves on a Ricky is a little bit odd.
It's absolutely crazy, I would say.
It's a little bit odd.
Why is it crazy?
So usually, most important thing when you're in the lane there, you don't want to leave the lane, which is, 5 salves is good for that because you keep staying in there.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to hit other heroes and hit creeps to get the final hit on the creep, so that you get the gold, so to buy more items and progress through your items and progress into the mid game, into the later stage of the game.
Okay.
But if you have no items that give you any stats, which gives you more damage to hit the last hit on the creep, if you run into another hero who has, like this Void here has, you can see, a stout shield, which gives you a chance to block when you're getting hit. If you're a Ricky with 5 salves and no stout shield hitting a Void, the Void, your 5 salves can be as many salves as you want it to be. He's blocking every second hit, taking some damage off you, and you can't get any more last hits. And so it's a very, also tangos are more gold efficient. So 5 salves is a crazy, it's wild.
Yeah.
1 second. 0. We're into the game. It has begun. As we mentioned, we've got TCG and Adzi in commentary today. TCG will be bringing you the play-by-play. Adzi with the analyst stuff in between. Take it away, TCG.
Okay, just as we're kicking off, Adzi, who's your vote for?
Hale, based on the build, based on their heroes and whatnot, they've got a well-rounded team with some supports, given some vision, lockdown, and
I'd have to go with Hale as well, judging from these from the heroes and from the item builds. I'd probably tip my hand towards them.
Yeah, but I've seen crazy stuff, right? Like anything can happen in these types of games.
Of course, anything happen. Yeah. Already, we're seeing a bit of weirdness coming out. I'm not sure where. We've got the purple player. What's he on? He's on Ricky. Who's the player in the back? He's not even
Moving,
in a
yeah.
lane.
Yeah, and DK
So
is-
that's very unusual.
Yeah.
Pete, usually you'd see the heroes go to where the creeps are dying to get XP to level up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Being in your base, it's basically the equivalent of being AFK.
Gotcha.
So I'm not sure what he's doing there.
Yeah.
We had DK walk to mid, leave mid, and run up to top lane. And we got the Invoker, the pink player, in mid by himself, just having the time of his life.
Yeah, he's got
So-
free farm.
Right. Last minute rotations, just guys freaking out a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
I'm-
The
yeah, maybe
communication's not
that's-
quite there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe he
I'm
doesn't
honestly
want to
not sure. Oh, the Morphling has got his Agimorph on. He's permanently Agimorphed.
He's teleporting back to the tower just to get away from the clockwork, I suppose. Maybe
Okay.
there's a bit of a misclick
Yeah.
there. Yep.
He's left his Agimorph on, which gives you less and less health, Pete.
Yep.
So if you leave that on too long, you can just be hit once and die. So you don't want to... It's already got some crazy concepts coming out. And we got Ricky, and Ricky is dead.
Ricky's dead.
First
Yeah.
blood for Invoker. Vox Populi, the captain of Hale, he is having his dream game right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You can see him top of the net worth, that graph there, how much he's worth. He hasn't missed barely any CS.
There's the second pick.
And Hale is on a roll.
Good picks. Yep.
DK goes down.
So the setup there with that little sort of ball lightning thing that came there is called a Sunstrike. So what you can do is you can set up with Shadow Demon, chuck him in that ball, and there's a particular amount of time. And when he comes out, you can land the Sunstrike, which was that ball thing, and just hit them all at the same time, and it guarantees a kill for Invoker, who's just going to become huge if they just leave him mid. It's a little bit odd that they would leave him there like that.
So what I'd really like to see from St. Eugene's here, firstly, I'd love to see the heroes get to the lanes so they can get some XP and get some levels.
Yep.
But I'd also like to see they need to protect their Morphling. So they want that to their Morphling bot. Morphling versus Clockwork, it's usually a pretty good matchup. But it looks like he's already been forced out of his lane and he's forced to go mid versus this Invoker who's been there the whole time by himself. And Morphling's not a bad matchup, but he really, unless this is a glitch on our screen, he really wants to press, I'm not sure what key he has it bound to, it's usually D, but he wants to stop morphing agility. Because if he's permanently morphing agility, he's going to be really low HP, and it's going to make it like he hits really hard, but he also gets hit really, really hard.
Yeah.
And he's off to the top. We've got musical lanes, Adzi and Pete, coming out from St. Eugene's.
Yeah.
They're not really sure what they want to do.
Yeah, I can see that the DK has got a Gloves of Haste, which you can then build into another item called a Midas, which will make his farm and experience go up a lot faster. He's currently run up to the Clockwork and is
Dead.
He's dead. Yeah, he didn't expect the amount of damage that the Clockwork could pull out. Maybe.
There's a bit of I feel like there's a bit of, maybe it's nerves
Yeah.
coming out from St. Eugene's, but they're getting a bit outclassed here, guys, by old Hale. You know, Hale's doing what they want to do, and St. Eugene's are not really putting up not putting any cogs in the gears here.
Yep. So he's chucked him in the cog. He's trying to.
Coming in.
Sniper's not moving. Sniper run.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure what's happening here, but Sniper's just sitting there and getting hit in the head.
What is a sniper doing that close to a team fight as well?
Yeah, at the very beginning of the game as well, where doesn't hit too hard.
I mean, it's not even so much a team fight, Pete. It's just one hero
Well, yeah,
who he
a
wants to walk
1v1.
away from.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit there and get punched, you know, like...
Yeah.
Sniper was effectively away from keyboard there. You know, I'm not sure if he's looking at something else or, you know, having an argument with his team, what's going on.
Yeah.
But you definitely want to be clicking buttons and clicking your mouse when you're playing Dota.
Yeah.
And it appears that Sniper was not doing that, which I would not recommend.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the difference with the net worth already. As mentioned in the top left, the top four are from Hale School.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just
Yeah.
at top 5 now.
Every single hero from Hale is above every single hero from St. Eugene's.
Yeah.
So, for those watching who aren't too familiar with this, what does net worth mean? What are we looking at there?
Well, it's the amount of gold. So when you last hit a creep, you'll get gold, and you get experience from that. And so that'll eventually tick up, where you can, for example, 2,000 or 3,000 gold coins for Invoker. Because he's hit so many last hits, he's actually quite high up. And you'll also get money over time. So you don't actually have to get last hits, which will take care of that. So that's what the net worth is, just a snapshot of how well the farming is going.
Yeah, so you get money over time, but really getting last hits is how you want to get the money. You don't want to so much sit there and get your money build up. That's what kind of supports will do. But if any of the 3 of the core heroes, you want to be getting these last hits. It's pretty important. So we can see that there's a 7k gold lead for Hale School at 5 minutes, which is, pretty, I'd say pretty unheard of, So St. Eugene's going to have to pull out something pretty amazing if they want to make a comeback in this game here.
Yeah.
Because already
goes the
Morphling's
big
in
ball.
trouble. Waveform, Morphling, waveform. No. I think it might have been on cooldown since he used it before.
I think he was on cooldown, and that's what the Invoker picked on.
So this Invoker Vox, he's run up, he's made Morphling wave away, and then he's just waited and come and killed him next time.
Yeah.
So a bit of outplay coming out in mid. Shadow Demon's being really annoying at top. Ricky doesn't know what to do with these 4 salves. He can salve up the Void, actually, before he can come back in again, but that's going to happen to him again.
Yeah. And
Sniper's not... See, with a sniper, Pete, you're a sniper, right? You got really long range. And I would love to see Sniper just hitting these guys.
But he's not doing anything.
He's not doing any... This Shadow Shaman, I think he's actually trolling the Sniper. Because he's just grabbing this... Usually you want to use your spells on the enemy heroes, Pete.
yeah. So
And
that's
these
Shackle.
these catapults here, they have massive spell resistance to do less damage to them. And this Shadow Shaman is just running up and just grabbing this catapult for... I'm going to go out on the limb and say basically no reason.
Right.
And the Sniper's just watching. And you got, if you're a sniper, you want to shoot him a little bit with your little pea shooter.
Yeah.
And nothing much happened. We've got a Morphling with a Null Talisman, which is a intel item, and Morphling's an agility hero. Not usually the item you see him go. Could have been mispicked at the start of the game, but it's not helping him out much at the moment.
Yeah, Intel also... Oh, here we go.
Oh, combo, Sunstrike coming out.
Yeah.
Lovely. See, St. Hale's, combine the 2 teams. Hale's School, they've picked a hero here, Legend Commander. He can duel you, and it forces you to fight him for 4 seconds. And the Invoker, who's playing mid, he has this global ability called Sunstrike, does heaps of damage, but it's got a 2-second delay. So you've got to choose somewhere on the map, pick a spot, 2 seconds later a massive Sunstrike comes out of the sky, and more kills for... Sniper's dead again. Ricky's dead again.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen one pick
From St. Eugene's.
on Hale. So
They're getting clowned on,
Yes.
unfortunately. Which is,
I would say that the Void's actually doing not too bad. He's managing to stay in the hard lane, getting farm. He's got some decent items-ish. He's got the wand which we can bump up his health. When someone uses a spell, it puts a little charge into the wand down the bottom right there.
Yep, so he's got 8 wand charges.
Yeah, so then you can use that to bump your health and your mana up, just in case.
Morphling goes down again mid as we're chatting. That's unfortunate for him. He's getting... Vox he's having a great time mid.
Yeah.
Also, as you mentioned, the Void from St. Eugene's and the DK from St. Eugene's, Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight's sitting in the jungle. He's chilling. He's not helping his team out. He's letting them flounder in the lanes. But he's getting some items in the jungle.
Yep.
So maybe he can come out and make some big plays.
Yep.
What
You
I
got
would-
the Shadow Demons now stalking the Void as well.
Yeah. What I'd really love to see from Eugene's here, I'd love to see them come out and maybe try and kill this Invoker.
Yeah.
This Invoker's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
It'd make a big net worth swing if you could kill him. He's got a Midas. He's level 9 already. So if you take him out of the game, it's going to give your team a lot of gold, a lot of levels. Oh, Sniper again. Is that Sniper? Yes.
Yeah, Sniper. They dived under the tower. And then the Shadow Shaman.
Shadow Shaman
popped a
dies
few.
to the tower.
Yeah.
You don't care too much at that point, But there is St. Eugene's first kill on the board. Sniper buys back.
Sniper buys back. He wants to go back straight into lane.
Get some more XP, I assume. But so Pete, if you're a sniper, you really don't want to play versus Clockwork. Now, Sniper might have been making some questionable plays at the start of the game, but in general, Clockwork's a pretty great counter to Sniper until you can get an item called Force Staff to get yourself out of the cogs. But this Sniper, with the start he's having, he's not going to get that Force Staff anytime soon, so he's in trouble.
Yeah.
So in
And-
that regard, would you rotate him then? You'd move into another lane.
Well, he's going to have a hard... Most of the lanes...
He's going to have a hard time against
Either
everything.
way.
All the lanes have gone so bad already that you're going to have a hard time. Some very interesting item choices coming out from DK. Adzi, he's got the Gloves of Haste, Blades of Attack build. What do you...
I think he was trying to build a Midas, which is the one I was talking before about, that gives you more farm and more experience. But I think he's given up on that idea, and he's maybe going to build phase boots.
I'll
so
cut
he
in
can-
there to say Sniper goes down again, and
Yeah.
you can continue.
It's either that or he's going to go for the armlet of Modigian, which will give him a bit of attack speed and a bit of
Yeah,
health.
those
so-
items do build into Armlet, but
Yep.
he's a long way from... Invoker... Okay, Boka's going to kill DK here.
Straight up.
That might have been a bit of misplay. He actually alacrity his range creep, so you can see that little range creep with the thing above it just before.
Yep.
The range creep was going crazy, attacking really fast. But you're much better off using that on yourself because you attack much harder. So
As they waveforms away.
this Invoker, he's not playing optimally, but he's getting the kills.
Yeah.
Ricky, does Ricky have invis? That hero that just died there, Ricky Mara goes down again to Invoker. He usually has a spell that lets him go invisible. He actually hasn't leveled up any abilities.
Yeah.
So that's a bit different.
That is there. I just got to ask, for someone who doesn't really know this game very well, it just seems like in no universe would you ever play that character that way. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you'd be
Yeah.
leveling up the abilities by now.
Yeah.
So, what is going on?
What do you reckon, Adzi? Is it unfamiliarity with the game?
I think it's the unfamiliarity.
By the way, Morphling and DK getting clowned on again by this Invoker. Invoker's got Boots of Travel already. Invoker's just crazy farm. Sorry, Adzi back to the...
Yeah, maybe it was a bit of a...
I'll cut it again. Sniper's about to die. Sniper gets cogged up, shackled. Sniper, they have so many... Ricky dies again. I'm not even sure how that happened. Did he just walk up to the Invoker?
Potentially, yeah.
And Void dies again.
Yeah.
Actually, the hero doing the best on the Radiant side gets taken down by Legion Commander. Looks like at least Legion Commander actually made him work for that kill.
Yeah.
But
Shadow Blade on.
okay, that's probably more surprising. These other heroes with no items and no abilities level up, they're pretty easy pickings. This Void though, he actually has items and has an escape ability, and he actually had leveled up his abilities. So even the guy who's kind of seems the most comfortable on his hero, he's being taken out as well, Pete, which is not a good sign.
No, it's not. It's not a good sign for this St. Eugene team at
and,
all.
And the snowball is starting to happen now where they've gotten enough items and enough gold where they can just start pushing and taking down towers. And all they really need to do now is just wait for a few extra levels, especially on the Shadow Shaman, who can get his ultimate ability, which is just spawns these giant snakes and they send out multiple attacks, and you can put them next to a tower and it'll take the tower out very, very quickly.
Yeah, they're great for killing towers.
Yeah.
So, Invoker's pretty good for killing towers as well.
Yep.
But so Adzi, we're seeing what I'd say is maybe a bit of inexperience.
Bit of an inexperience, and I think maybe there's maybe a bit of stand-in or something similar where
Void gets away. Oh, he's still dead.
he's still dead.
Void, no.
Yeah.
They can't save him.
can't.
Morphling knows. Morphling just gets out of there.
He's
Waves
out.
forms
He's
away.
like, I want none of that.
You don't want to what's got.
Nobody wants any of that at the moment.
That's a good play though, because it's very common in Dota to fall prey to the old trying to save your buddy syndrome.
Yeah.
So your buddy's dying, you're on there trying
Something
to
that
help
I've
him.
never ever done.
Yeah,
I'm
neither.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But so what happens, Pete? Your buddy's dying. You want to save him. You run in there. You also die.
He's waved in and
Void goes. Morphling goes down again to this Legion, and as he said, the snowball has started.
Yeah.
And like a big snowball, the bigger it gets, the harder it is to stop.
Yep.
And St. Eugene's there at the bottom of this mountain, watching this. I'd say almost an avalanche of a snowball coming at them, and they're trembling a bit.
Well, almost you look at how fed these two particular characters that we just saw from Hale there, those two players that we saw from Hale, how quickly they took that tower down.
They're massive.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're on a roll now.
They're on a roll. Ricky Maru, he's got items, but he actually hasn't taken them out of the base yet. And has he... Can we just look at Ricky one more time? Sorry. Still hasn't leveled up any abilities. This hero has ability that gives you permanent invisibility, Pete.
Right.
You know what sounds pretty good in a game like this? Being
Permanent
invisible all the
invisibility.
time. All the time, Pete, except when you're attacking.
Yeah.
But he's chosen not to get that, so I'd say he's probably not the most comfortable on the hero. So besides from a bit of experience coming out, DK is going to get slaughtered. Just, you could have had one of those heroes there, guys, and he still would have died. So they come and they completely overkill him with 4 heroes. Clockwork's going in. Clockwork he's going real deep here. Clockwork might be going down. Sniper, hit him. Please, Sniper. Just the Chronosphere comes out.
Yep. This is Void's ultimate.
Void has stopped time, but it's not, they have no damage. It's not enough. They're still gonna, please. Just even the tower. Yes, there we go.
Someone you got to kill.
They got a comeback kill.
Yeah.
So now I've changed tacks. No more WA pride. I want the underdogs to come back.
Well, it was a 2-1 trade there though.
Yeah.
So
It still wasn't great, but
It wasn't great.
at least someone from Hale's dying, you know?
Yep.
At least something's going on there. Okay. Shadow Shaman, he's been real confident, comes up, DK stuns him, punches him in the face. But a Dragon
That's how you
Knight,
do the combo. That's a good way to do
Yeah?
it. Yep.
but Dragon Knight with no items is not punching very hard,
No.
and Blobfish is just casually walking away. He doesn't.
He wants none of that.
He doesn't care at all. He's like, come at me, mate.
Yep. So what Clockwork just picked up is something called a rune, and it's a regen rune. So that'll regen his health and mana over time.
Big combo coming out from Invoker, lands it lovely. Another dual win for the Legion Commander.
So what the dual win will do, let's see what happens here.
Oh, another. It's just Ricky Maro dying with.
Yeah.
You know, if he was invisible there, it might have helped a little bit. Not to be too harsh.
Can I just say that was a moment where you can definitely tell that this Hale school is really communicating with each other.
Yeah.
They got the stall on that St. Eugene character there, and then as a team just moved as one behind him to block him off from being able to get away.
Yeah, so Hale School, they actually like drafted themselves, picked themselves heroes that combo up really well with each other.
Yeah.
And if you're versing kind of inexperienced people like Eugene seem to be, they're, you know, like you almost don't even need it, but they're doing it anyway. They're taking it seriously, they're not messing around, they want this win. DK, stuck in the cogs. DK is a very strong hero, even at level 5. He's slowly being, it's a slow, painful death for DK. 2 godlike heroes. Void, he's getting away.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what Void's saying to his team, guys, but you know, guys, stop just running in and chain feeding this Invoker. But he doesn't seem to be able to help, you know?
Yeah. And so this is the real dangerous stage for St. Eugene's right now, is they're going to go up what's called high ground, so they're going up on taking out the...
And Void goes down again. The combo was actually a bit messed up there from Invoker, since there's nothing to actually stop the Void leaping away. But it doesn't matter. The Legion Commander covers his back, runs in there and destroys the Void. DK goes down again, and they just dive in their base. They don't care. This Clockwork's being hit by the tier 4 towers, Pete. The Void goes down, Morph goes down again.
What's he doing?
Clockwork might go down.
Clockwork's
no,
going
he
down.
definitely goes down
Yeah.
that way.
So now they've moved on from the tower to the racks, and so when the racks are taken out, you see those little creeps, those creeps get stronger, and so it'll push the lane out even more and push it towards the Radiant side or the green side right now. So it's going to be even harder to come back.
You get
because of that.
super creeps,
Yeah.
and they get stronger and stronger, but most importantly, Pete, they're worth less golden experience. So the snowball just gets worse and worse and worse. It's going to keep snowballing.
Yep.
Lovely chrono coming out from Void. I dare say that the Hale School, they actually let themselves get chrono like that because they're unkillable at this point. They actually, the only thing that's going to kill them is these tier 4 towers. And you can see, Pete, they keep running in. They're getting hit by tier 4 towers. Strongest towers in the game. They don't
Not
care.
doing a dent.
DK runs in, very valiant, you know, very knightly of him, you know, appropriate to his name, trying to save his towers.
Yep.
It doesn't matter, you know.
Oh,
Jewel comes out and Ricky, more damage. Alakri on top of LC, like he needed it, does even more damage.
So what happens when he duels him and he wins that duel is he gets extra damage applied permanently to his hero.
Permanently.
So if you want to, so we've got an extra 98 damage for LC because he's won so many duels right now.
And what would you say about this game, Adzi? Because it's getting to the point where, you know,
An absolute stomp.
an
It's a
absolute,
wipe.
Yeah.
it's an
It's a
absolute
wipe.
stomp.
Yeah.
So what would Radiant need to win this game?
They would really need to start talking to each other and try and take out at least one person, whether it be to start with the supports. That's all you can do
I
is
would-
just start
Can I
there.
just ask you guys, have you ever seen in any match, whether it be throughout the pro circuit, the international, a team being stomped as much as St. Eugene's is right now actually come back? To
In
win match
a
like
competitive
this?
game
In a
as much as
competitive
this,
scene?
I would say no. I would say what St. Eugene's needs to win here is all of Hale School, their computers need to explode. And the admins, which wouldn't happen, the
that's
admins
rough.
would have to let the game play on.
Right.
And even then, the game would still be pretty close.
Gotcha.
Is
Is there a mercy rule?
I'm not sure. I know there is in, you know, like Little League AFL football,
Well,
but I don't think there is in Dota. There's not much mercy in Dota. It's a pretty brutal game.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, there might be the opportunity for St. Eugene's to GG out, so they'll say GG and let the other team win, which, I mean, based on where they're at the moment, right,
Void kills Shadow Shaman, so you know, at this point,
that's what they need to do.
Pete, at this
Yeah.
point, you're more fighting for, you know, your dignity. You just want to kill them a few times because they've killed you so much. You don't want to just leave the game, right? You want to kill them a few times before
Gotcha, yeah.
you're out of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would be, you know, if my team we were getting stomped this bad, you know, my teammates probably be so demoralized, we'd be out of the game in an instant. You know,
Right.
we'd be getting out of there.
But we don't want to encourage that high
No,
school
you fight-
teams.
you fight to your last minute, you know?
You fight for the pride of your esports club and fight hard. But you can tell that, that obviously there were a couple of players on St. Eugene's that weren't really into it today.
Also, it's a learning experience.
Exactly
you can go back, you can look at this game, what's happened, watch the replay, see the items they've built, see the way they played, and you can kind of copy that to a certain extent. That really helps you as a player and a team, get better.
I mean, look, here's a perfect example.
SD going all by himself. Oh,
That took everything.
and what happens sometimes in games like this, if they're a little bit more close, the winning team gets really, really, overconfident, runs at them, and you can, quote unquote, you can throw the game by getting too confident.
Yeah.
Now, this might be so one-sided that's actually impossible, but we saw that just then by that Shadow Demon running in and solo killing a DK, but to dying for it.
Which is not something that usually happens, like at this particular point. So it's pretty indicative that this game's pretty close to being over.
See, even the game is telling them somebody killed them.
Yep, godlike. If you see your opponent is godlike with a double kill, it's a bit worrying. We see Sniper and Morphling going down there that much of a fight. I would love to see the players from St. Eugene's. It sounds pretty basic, but leveling up abilities and buying items that are gold. You can see Ricky Maru there. He's floating 1.2k gold, which is that's some pretty significant items you can have there, Pete.
Well, it still appears that he hasn't actually purchased anything.
He's purchased something, but hasn't brought it out of his. He's got it in the stash in his base. It's not on his hero. Oh, good God!
That was one hit almost just took out Sniper straight away.
They're getting one hitter. Their final tier 4's towers are dying.
What are those giant snakes I was talking about before that do damage?
So Adzi, as this game gets wrapped up, some high level analysis.
Well,
what did you like? What didn't you like?
Well, I love the picks from Hale School. It was a well balanced. They had a lot of lead in. So you had the Shadow Demon to the Sunstrike, which we saw a couple of different times. We had the amplified damage from Shadow Demon working quite well with the Jewel. So those kinds of picks were really, they kind of were very cohesive actually. They worked together quite well. And the Radiant side really need to work on the picks, stay away from cores. They need some actual supports there, and to level up their abilities. Ricky being having invisibility, he's a really good roamer. He can go around, he can make plays happen. So it's
we can see their
5 to 56.
Yeah, we can see that Hale School, despite everyone's best, everyone's, very shockingly actually closed the game. Of course, it was pretty one-sided there.
Yep.
Very one-sided game. Actually, St. Eugene's never in the lead at one point in the game, and Hale School very comfortably, very confidently just took it away.
Yeah,
you can see Invoker extremely rich.
Yeah,
had a very, very easy game.
Had a lot of good kills that were set up for him, so he could just steamroll, which is really cool. I want to shout out to the Faceless Void. Under all the pressure that he was under, I reckon he held his own. He did his best, and so that was really good to see there. And a bit of sportsmanship, and just trying to get everybody along. So
he definitely fought it. Also, like to see the team not GGing out early. They waited till their ancient actually blows up.
Yeah,
staying strong.
That's right.
That real, fighting spirit. That real Aussie, digger spirit. Don't call it quits.
No,
keep going at them.
Yep. That's really good. And so what we're seeing right now is a bit of item progression. So you can sort of see, like there's a brown boots, which will then eventually lead to the gloves of haste just above that, to the power treads. And so you have the ring of the Quiller on the Dragon Knight. It's not really a usual pickup for a Dragon Knight because he's not really an agility hero.
You can see a bit of a disparity there. The top team, Radiant, the losing team.
Yeah, like the two.
Not many items being picked up.
Yeah.
And the bottom team, every item you could ever want being picked up. So pretty rough.
And pretty quickly, so that's a 10-minute slot. You'd usually see that over 20 minutes.
We got a 22-minute Stout Shield coming out, usually an item you start the game with. Real rough stuff, Pete. Real one-sided for Hale there.
Well, it was unfortunate for St. Eugene's, but obviously couldn't get the job done today. But a massive win for Hale School, really planting their exclamation mark on that game. And it's good to see that as well, because it means as we lead towards the final series for Dota 2 for season 2018, it's good for them to do that because they've got a couple of real tough competitors in St. Norbert's and GSCC.
There's going to be good matches.
They are going to be great matches. Top of the table, those two, but it's good to see Hale School actually come out with a match like this and say, no, look, we've been practicing, we've been going hard, we're communicating, we're really starting to get our bearings on this game, and we're coming for you guys. So, to those of you watching at twitch.tv/Flaktest, thank you so much. We appreciate your time today. Thanks for watching. A big thank you to you, TCG from Fox Gaming, and also you, Adzi.
The casual.
The casual. I would say we'll see a little bit more from you, I reckon.
Thanks.
If you want to check out more from Fox Gaming and TCG, check them out on their socials, and have a look for Bruce Leet across socials as well if you want to see more of Adzi. Appreciate your time, and we will catch you next week on Twitch TV/Flaktest and across all socials. Just before we go, don't forget, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Australian Western Standard Time, it's our weekly TV show back for round 6 with all of your news, plus games and prizes as well. We've got 2 tickets for those of you that live in Sydney or are on your way there next weekend to go and check out the Gfinity Elite Series, actually be in the audience.
That's going to be really good.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
going to be. It's
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
amazing.
No tickets for WA, Pete.
No
What's
tickets for
going on?
WA. Well, you know, the
Need a
flights,
plane ticket.
flights are
Oh,
already
yeah,
booked.
that makes sense.
Sort of stuff, you know, we're working on
The
that.
the logistics.
We start small, guys. You know, so
Yeah,
start
yeah,
with a couple of ticket giveaway if you live in Sydney, and then we'll get there, right? Also, we have Hearthstone 1v1 at this point in time. It's our next free-to-play high school esports community club event. You can sign up at play.flaktest.com if you are a Flaktest registered club, and winner takes away a $50 battle.net card, and the second place gets a $20 as well, so you can put that towards your decks and stuff like that. Again, great to have you along. Thanks for your company, and we'll catch you next week right here on twitch.tv/Flaktest.
Thanks, mate.
That does it for another week of the weekly patch. Pete, it's been round 6. What's coming up in round 7?
Yeah, we've got a massive CSGO Counter-Strike Global Offensive spectacular for you in round 7. That's next weekend on twitch.tv/Flaktest. The live match will be played at 12 p.m. AWST. Check your local times for wherever else you are around the country or around the world for that. But it's going to be Ursula Frayne CSGO taking on Mount Lawley CSGO.
Nice match.
Massive match, right? These two teams have been absolutely hammering it throughout the CSGO season, so it's going to be a really awesome match to watch, and we hope you join us for it. Plus a whole heap of other stuff. Conky, Mitch Conky Concannon, who should be here on the couch casting CSGO. He's a Gfinity Elite Series caster now. He's going to be casting CSGO for Gfinity Elite. He's also going to be joining us to talk about Gfinity Elite Series. And for those of you who are watching who want to be casters, he's going to tell us what it's taken him to become a pro caster in the CSGO scene. Also, if you're making your way to Sydney next weekend, or happen to live in Sydney and are part of the Flaktest community, make sure you keep across Facebook, because from Monday, we're going to drop details on how you yourself can be in the studio at the Hoyt Cinema watching that particular Gfinity Elite Series, round 3 of their series, live in the audience, okay? We've got 2 tickets to give away.
Awesome. And hey, today is one of the last days that you can get on to sign up for the Hearthstone 1v1 tournament.
That's right.
Actually, you know what? Let's leave it open for the rest of the week.
Okay,
We'll leave it open for the week. Play.flaktest.com for the Hearthstone 1v1 tournament. There's a $50 battle.net card up for grabs for first place and a $20 battle.net card for second place.
Yeah, and guys, remember, this is free. If you're a Flaktest registered high school esports club at flaktest.com/season 2018, you can play. Doesn't cost you anything to be a part of it.
You can
and
play
as you
on
mentioned,
your phone, you can play on your computer, Windows, Mac. It's on all of them.
anything you like.
And it's free.
As
Just
you
download
mentioned,
it.
those amazing prizes up for grabs, and of course, school pride
Absolutely.
as well.
The bragging rights to say, I am the best.
Hey, have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check out all of our socials, follow us, like us, all of that sort of stuff, and we'll catch you next week on the Flaktest Weekly Patch.